It's been a huge month for KSP2. Not only did the game launch, but it also received its first patch, some really amazing mods, news about upcoming content, and much more. Of course, there were also an avalanche of problems mixed in. So then, here's everything you need to know about the first 4 weeks of KSP2, along with what we can expect to see over the coming weeks. So then, by its very nature, it means this video is going to start with a little bit of negativity, but we're soon going to move on to many positive things. So in the interest of keeping things balanced and totally reasonable, let's get on with it. So here we are, a month after the game's release, and reviews on Steam are still mixed. Of course, the long-term reviews, as well as the recent reviews, only cover a 30-day period in this case, so we're going to have to wait much longer to see if things do improve. But currently it's sitting at 52% positive, which is up from 51% positive, so perhaps trending in the right direction, but not really enough movement to really be sure one way or the other. In either event, most people in the reviews seem to be suggesting to hold off and wait to make your purchase. This is something I've spoken about in the past, and is largely my opinion. If you're happy to get involved with a game that needs a lot of work and want to go along with the ride, then definitely jump in now, otherwise you certainly should hold off. And in either regards, I do feel that the price remains still way too high for what you're actually getting at this specific moment in time. But that said, there is a bright future for the game. The developers have spoken much about that, so let's move away from all of these launch issues and move onwards to some of the other aspects that have occurred during the past 4 weeks. Patch 1 arrived on the 16th of March, bringing with it around about 300 different fixes. It also gave a huge performance boost for many people, and you can see my thoughts on that particular patch linked on the screen right here. This was recorded shortly after the patch released, as after I'd had a little bit of time to experiment with it. And since then I've been playing much more, and I feel it's important to point out that even after patch 1, there are some massive performance problems, especially with the larger ships or vehicles made out of a high number of parts. These give performance problems both in the VAB, on the launch pad, and elsewhere, especially when staging. But equally, it's also fair to say that patch 1 is a massive step forward for the game. Now, over the past few weeks, there have really been some absolutely amazing mods released for the game. Although the game isn't directly opened up yet and fully supporting mods, nonetheless the community have jumped in and made some really good additions to the game. There's some listed on the screen right here, a few that I use, and some which I think will be extremely useful to, well, everyone really. So there's a link in the video description where you can find all of these. Very easy to install overall and very easy to use. Looking forward to seeing where the future of modding goes with this game. In other community-related news, it's only been 4 weeks and KSP2 has been available for players, and already they have created some amazing looking ships and some amazing looking planes. All sorts of things, in fact. Now, if you fancy checking some of these out for yourself, or alternatively, if you have a little bit of difficulty creating your own vessels and want to import some of these, then there is a website to enable you to do exactly this. The website is called KSP Builds, and from there you can download a whole range of different ships and vehicles. The filter over on the side lets you choose between things such as interplanetary, interstellar, satellites, space stations, landers, rovers, SSTOs, space planes, probes, as well as another tab for miscellaneous. Now, it's extremely easy to import these ships into KSP2. Simply select the vehicle or space station, whatever that you want, and down below here you can see there's a button that says Export to KSP2. Click on that, it will add the ship into your clipboard, and then very simply go into KSP2, open up the VAB, press Ctrl V, which of course is the paste key, and that will paste the ship directly inside of the game and it'll be ready to use. So this, I feel, is an absolutely brilliant resource, this website KSP Builds, and you can also upload your own ships to there for other people to share. So if you've got a few vehicles you'd like to share, then do head on over to that website and upload them. Elsewhere, over the past few weeks, in fact this one was very recently, creative director of KSP2, Nate Simpson, did an AMA with Reddit. During this Ask Me Anything session, they went through a whole bunch of different topics relating to the game's performance, the game's release, as well as into the game's future. So if this is something that you're interested in, do check out the video I've got on the screen right here. I released this over the weekend. I think a lot of people seem to have missed this, so if you want a summary and breakdown of some of the highlights of that AMA, that video is the place to be. If not, and you'd prefer the full content, then do check the link in the video description where you can find the entirety of that AMA over on Reddit. That brings us more up to date, where we get information on the upcoming patch 2, as well as some information on things slightly further into the future for the game. So, patch 2, what do we expect to see? Well, Nate Simpson has said that it's going to be a bit tough to beat patch 1 in terms of the amount of fixes that went in, but it seems they are still all out on that regardless. On screen right here we can see some of the fixes and improvements that are going into patch 2, but of course there are going to be a few others. It also shows a few screenshots showing the progress that they are making on the patch. So in this screen, the devs are saying we have pruned all the hovering flowers made of squares and replaced them with flowers made of flowers. And this does actually look like a really nice screenshot, doesn't it? And we've also got another one here. They say we're also pretty excited about how nice the new height fog is looking. It's a subtle change, but it adds a lot of depth to the landscape. Elsewhere, KSP2 graphics programmer discussed the future of the game's planets. It turns out that the team are developing a new render engine for planets which will give them far more detail than they currently have. The new system is, funnily enough, called CBT, which stands for Concurrent Binary Tree. They also say it could also stand for Celestial Body Terrain, so yeah, it seems they just wanted to go with that particular combination of letters. So yeah, a new rendering system, new rendering engine for planets is coming up, and I think in the medium term. Also, there's going to be some changes to the graphics. This will enable players to have a few more settings switched off to hopefully help with performance. That will be coming before the new render engine. The team have also been discussing thermal, so re-entry heating. We can see an image of that on the screen right here as the rocket heads off out of the atmosphere. Pretty impressive looking graphics there actually. So this is something that is coming again further down the line. I don't think it's going to be patch 2, but hopefully not too much longer. The team have also said that the visuals here, the flame style effects, the plasma, will have different colorations based upon the composition of the particular planet that you are entering. So initially it will just be the regular colours here, but for the further future there will be different colours going on. So there we have it. That's a roundup of more or less everything that's so far happened in the first complete month of KSP2. Do let me know in the comment section below how the month has been for you. Have you been enjoying the game? Have you been hitting too many brick walls? Do let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.